I could use my knife I had dinner with, everything. That's a bit more curvy, isn't it? Rather than curly. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. So on today's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you one of the biggest trends for 2024, and that is curve cuts. So curve cuts might also be known as the kitty cut. The kitty cut is a big trend which is popping right now. It has had over 300% of views, 400% of views of searches, sorry, on Google alone, and 91.1 million searches on TikTok. I think that's correct. So this is going to be a way to show you how to get a curve cut, a kitty cut. It's something very similar to how the wolf cut, the butterfly cut were for the big trends. It's something that sort of curves and moves and shows you a lot more sort of softness in the haircut. But like the wolf cut, it is going to be similar in the sense of how we cut it, but it is going to be longer, softer, and that little bit more polished. So we're not thinking so much heaviness. What we're thinking is something a little bit longer that flows, less disconnection. So let's get into it. Right guys, so here is the sectioning pattern. The sectioning pattern is as if you were having a sort of mid ponytail at the back. So we're thinking that's just above the occipital bone. The occipital bone is that little bump on the back of our heads. So it's sitting basically a bit like a bit of a bang on trend ponytail, to be honest. I've seen Chris Appleton on his YouTube channel doing a lot of this, where you're sort of doing this and there's a little hack to make it sort of more plump. Can't remember it. If I can remember to edit it into this, I will. But yeah, we want that to be sitting basically directly in the middle of the head. And then when it comes to the front ponytail, slightly different to what the wolf cut was. So you can see here it comes back into the nape of the neck, but there's not as much hair because we want more of the curve kitty cut shape to be around the front, and we don't want so much layering through the back. So this is taken, you look here again, like a turban. And why I keep saying that is my daughter Rosa has got a hat like this, where it comes over her ears, comes up, little sort of bit of detail bow there, and then curves off again. So that's why I'm calling it the turban, because that's coming up and it sits very similar to her hat. So you can see it's about 2 inches back from the hairline into the hair. So you can see there, travels back into the nape, same as on this side, 2 inches into the hairline, travels back at a diagonal, back into there. So not as much hair here as we used to with the wolf cut and the butterfly cut. So we want to be getting this cut, don't we? Now, we don't want as much layering through the back because the kitty cut and the curve cut maintains a lot of the density and everything through the back. So we're not going to be doing too much. We're going to bring it straight out, find a guide, cut that. But when it comes to this, we want there to be a bit more sort of shape around the front. So we're going to find a guide being, let's go to the Adam's apple. Now, I know she wouldn't have an Adam's apple, but you never know. So I'm going to go just there. And that is about on this hair length. See, when we talk about guides and how much we're taking off with regards to this sort of technique, it doesn't mean anything, because your hair might be this long, and I might say take 2 inches off, and you might be out here taking 2 inches off. But before I get into it, what I would do in salon. So if you want to find out more about what I would do in salon as well, click the join button down below, because for my members, I'm going to be doing lives, live haircuts, live Q&As, everything like that. So if you want to join the channel, down below. When we look at this from a salon perspective, hair would be wet. We would section off as I have here. So from that 2 inches back into the hairline, straight back into the nape. And I would be putting a guide through here, pulling straight out. Next section, straight out. And then everything would be elevated and over directed to this point, maintaining length at the perimeter and becoming shorter in the middle, because that is closer to where we're going to be cutting the guide. With the back, we'd have all this hair. So again, hair would be wet. I'd take a central guide through the middle. I'd be coming out there, and then everything would be pulled to that point in sections like so. Reason I love doing these is because they're so quick. You get to see it instantly. So enough of the talking, Paul. Yes, I heard you. Right. So what I'm going to be taking off of my mannequin is we're taking it to that. Ready? and I'm just point cutting. Point cutting because I want to create softness. I want the line to be softer than if I was doing blunt cut. I could use texturizing shears. I could use soft cut scissors. I could use texturizing scissors. I could use a razor. I could use anything, to be honest, to cut hair. I could use a samurai sword. I could use my knife I had dinner with. Everything. There's a new thing. I keep seeing the calligraphy cut. Could have used that. Don't know what it is. Kai Wilson. Go and check him out. So just softening off again. So there. That's where that's sitting. Spin her around. Now we're just going to, again, gather all this hair. Now you can see there's shorter pieces in there because where the hair's traveling to and from. But I don't want to be taking too much off because, again, like I said, I don't want it to be heavily layered. So I'm just seeing where that hair is wispy. And where it's wispy, I'm point cutting. I use it a lot as a guide in salon. Where the hair starts to taper out, a lot of clients always say, oh, take off what you need. I could take off a lot. It's what you need. And when it comes to taking off what you want or what the client wants, I always sort of consult and sort of say, look, what we could do quite dramatic, but I know you're growing your hair, or I know you don't want that much off, or first time here. You've expressed where you've been before. They took off too much hair all the time. Let's start a little bit. So what we're going to look at is where your hair starts to look a little bit unhealthy. So I get the hair like this and I look to see where it sort of tapers out. And I say, look, you could probably take an inch over that. Your hair will look beautifully sort of stronger, healthier, thicker again without taking too much off. So that's what we've done here. So let's pull it out. Let's pull it out. And let's just give it a little shake, shall we? Now again, the kitty cut. This is longer. This is a longer version of a kitty cut. But I've been seeing lots and lots of variants of it. There's a kitty cut bob, there's a kitty cut lob, there's a kitty cut long, everything. What we're looking for is that shortness through the front that continues all the way through there, which gives you that curve cut. So if you were to wear this straight with a little bend, you'd get that and it just sort of curves off. This has got a bit of curl in it, this mannequin. She went out last night. So we're having to deal with that at the minute. But I'm just going to smooth through. Actually, what I might do is I might get a hairdryer on this and just smooth it out a little bit. Because this curl, it's a bit too much curl for a curve cut. But before I do, have a look. Because if you've got curly hair or you've got something like that, I'll get out of the way so you can see. That is what that haircut would give you. So shape around the face, you can see it all popping up there. Maintaining that length, spin around. And then it's just popped in a very soft, long layer. Like that. So if your hair is like this or you wear your hair like this, that is what it will look like. But I just want to get there just to be a little bit, I just want to be a bit more smoothness, to be honest. So you've got the curve in it rather than the curl. Maybe if I keep doing this. I had a client once, this is a story time. She said she went to Molten Brown, this is years ago when they did hair. She had a blow dry there, but didn't use a blow dryer. There was about 7 of them finger drying her hair like this. No joke. That's what she said. I don't know if it was a joke. I've just said no joke. She told me that. Might have been a joke on her end. Wasn't a joke on my front. I thought that if that's real, let me know in the comments. If that's what people used to do, I'm not old enough to be around that time, but that's what she said. So instead of a hairdryer, I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. Just use the heat. I was going to say heat from my hands, but I'm absolutely freezing in here. It's now, in the UK, it is minus at night now. This is night time that I'm doing this because I work in the day So I have to come in here at night when Rose is asleep and have to create content. I think that's a little bit more. Yeah, look at that. That's a bit more curvy, isn't it? Rather than curly. Yes, I like it. Just a little bit curly for me, but you get the point. If you want the kitty cut or the curve cut, that is, or the new Rachel, I was going to say Rachel Aniston, Jennifer Aniston haircut, very, very similar to what she's wearing right now. So yeah, that is another big trend. The kitty cut, the curve cut, the Jennifer Aniston, the new Rachel. So if you've enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below. Hit the like, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you on the next video.